Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Sit in the chair, it's not good. Sit in the chair. Sit in the chair. Bete, sit in the chair. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Madana Mohan, Radha Madana Mohan, Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Gopinata, Radha Gopinata, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Shri Radhe. Jaya Lalita Visakha, Lalita Visakha, Lalita Visakha, Jaya Lalita Visakha. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Go Sitanath Premanande. It's not working before, even before? It was working with you? Something disconnected. Huh? It doesn't work Bluetooth? Bluetooth?
Not setting Bluetooth.
Oh. Okay, you can get Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
All of you. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sejuta Padakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnabam Sha Sirupang Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam sadvadhutam parijana sahitam Kṛṣṇa Caitanya devam Sri Radha Krishna padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakalvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpataruvyascha Kipasindhuvya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before we start, is this like, can we turn this up? Maybe this is like too high. It's too hot. You feel hot? Maybe it's 35 degrees or something? 30? Huh? You can put it 25 something. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme, text number 14. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam yomang. No. We do it again. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam yomang smarati nityaśaḥ tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ pārtha nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ. Sureswar Prabhu. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam
tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ ananya-cetāḥ satatam brahma smarati nityaśaḥ tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ pārtha nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ
ananya-cetāḥ satatam yomang smarati nityaśaḥ tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ pārtha nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ. Mataji. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam yomang smarati nityaśaḥ tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ pārtha nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam Okay, word for word meaning. Ananya-cetāḥ. Without deviation of the mind. Satatam. Always. Ya. Anyone who. Mam. Me. Kṛṣṇa. Smarati. Remembers. Nityaśaḥ. Regularly. Tasya. To him. Aham. I am. Su-labhaḥ. Very easy to achieve. Pārtha. O son of Pṛthā. Nitya. Regularly. Yuktasya. Engaged. Yoginaḥ. For the devotee. It's a couple of pages, Purport. Translation and Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada K. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pṛthā, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Everyone please repeat. For one who always remembers me, without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pṛthā, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Purport. This verse specially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotees who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in bhakti-yoga. Previous verses have mentioned 4 different kinds of devotees: the distressed, the inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. Different processes of liberation have also been described: karma-yoga, jñāna-yoga, and haṭha-yoga. The principles of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti-yoga, without any mixture of jnana, karma, or haṭha. As indicated by the word ananya-cetāḥ, in pure bhakti-yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Kṛṣṇa. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the brahma-jyotir, or salvation, or liberation from material entanglement. A pure devotee does not desire anything. In the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the pure devotee is called niskāma, which means he has no desire for self-interest. Perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. Whereas a jñāna-yogī, karma-yogī, or haṭha-yogī has his own selfish interest, a perfect devotee has no desire other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to Him, He is easy to attain. A pure devotee always engages in devotional service to Kṛṣṇa in one of His various personal features. Kṛṣṇa has various plenary expansions and incarnations, such as Ram and Nrsimha, and a devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that plague the practitioners of other yogas. Bhakti-yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna The Lord is merciful to all, but as we have already explained, He is especially inclined toward those who always serve Him without deviation. The Lord helps such devotees in various ways. As stated in the Vedas, Katha Upanishad, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 23, Yang Ivaisha Brinotitena Labhyas tasyāhaṁ atma vivrinoti tanung swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as He is. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 10, Dadhami buddhi yogam tam. The Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain Him in his spiritual kingdom. The special qualification of the pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Kṛṣṇa without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita who told Lord Chaitanya, "Wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan." As indicated by the words satatam and nityaśaḥ, which means always, regularly, or every day, a pure devotee constantly remembers Kṛṣṇa and meditates upon Him. These are qualifications of the pure devotee for whom the Lord is most easily attainable. Bhakti-yoga is the system that the Gita recommends above all others. Generally, the yogis are engaged in 5 different ways. Shanta Bhakta, engaged in devotional service in neutrality. Dasya Bhakta, engaged in devotional service as servant. Sakya Bhakta, engaged as friend. Vatsalya Bhakta, engaged as parent. And Madhurya Bhakta, engaged as conjugal lover of the Supreme Lord. In any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord and cannot forget the Supreme Lord. And so for him, the Lord is easily attained. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment, and similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget His pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessing of Kṛṣṇa conscious process of chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam yomang smarati nityaśaḥ tasyāhaṁ su-labhaḥ pārtha nitya-yuktasya yoginaḥ. It's amazing, this chapter, which is entitled Attaining the Supreme, it's like right from the very beginning, explains about where is the final destination of those who are always thinking of Kṛṣṇa, fully surrendered, and wholeheartedly performing devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Isn't it like every verse is like, he will reach the final destination. He will reach, no doubt, he will reach me, everything. So especially here in this verse, without deviation of the mind, there are few qualifications that one has to fulfill in order to attain that level whereby he will attain the supreme destination, the spiritual world. First of all, it says that there is no material impediment, especially for those who are performing devotional service. The final destination is that one who served the Supreme Personality of Godhead in bhakti-yoga. So in the beginning, as Prabhupada mentions in the Purport, that there are four kinds of personalities who approach the Supreme Lord, but with ulterior motive. The distressed, the inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. And then there are those who also perform different processes of yoga: karma-yoga, jñāna-yoga, and haṭha-yoga. So yoga means to link up. Yoga means to be united, to be unified, to become one, but not in the sense that losing one's identity, just like the Mayavadis, the impersonalist goal, to be one. But for the devotees, to be one with the Supreme Lord means to fulfill the desire of the Supreme Lord. Our main duty is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, yes, our main desire should be to be sincere. To be sincere in our execution of bhakti. To have that desire to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. So any of these processes of yoga mentions by Srila Prabhupada, these different principles, they have to include bhakti. Without bhakti, then it will not be fulfilled. It will not become successful. It's like nowadays, there are so many so-called yoga practices. They considered ancient process of yoga, like say haṭha-yoga. But their desire is to increase their sense pleasure, to increase their material desire, to enjoy the senses with the sense objects. So, however, the process is that we have to perform pure devotional service. It says here in the note that Kṛṣṇa gives intelligence by which they can attain Him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purbakam dadami yog. Dadami. Yes. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. That means Kṛṣṇa gives the intelligence for those who are always in discussion, always discussing the topics about the name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Then Kṛṣṇa gives them the intelligence by which they can come to Him. And a pure devotee does not desire anything. This is the difference between devotee and non-devotee. So anyone who is performing bhakti earnestly, sincerely, without any ulterior motive, then that is considered as pure devotional service. Other than that, others also may perform devotional service with ulterior motive. Those performing bhakti in the mode of goodness, with passion or ignorance, is not considered as pure bhakti, ananya-bhakti, amala-bhakti. That means there is tinge of selfishness. If everything that one execute is only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, which is the topmost level of bhakti as exemplified by the inhabitants of Vrindavan, then that is the desired goal. It seems to be very difficult to attain. Yes, it is difficult to attain in the conditioned state. But for those whose intention is pure, only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord and His devotees, then it is easy. We've heard many stories, even from the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. We've told this many times, like Kolabecha Sridhar, whose earnings is very meager, selling banana products. But his main intention is to please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he will give half of his income to the service, worship of Ganga. So, yes, niskama. Pure devotee is niskama. He does not desire anything. No desire for self-interest. It seems to be impossible to attain, especially in the preliminary stage, in the conditioned state. But that is our goal. That's why we're practicing bhakti. So ultimately we will be able to become detached from the material desire. And it says here, perfect peace belongs to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. As Prabhupada was once asked, we've heard that the other day, what is the goal of life? Prabhupada says the goal of life is to enjoy. So how can we enjoy if we're not peaceful? First we have to be peaceful, and how you attain becoming peaceful? Then controlling the senses. And we've heard that also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the chapter that we're reading right now, the killing of Jarasandha, that no one can conquer Kṛṣṇa without controlling one's senses. Without controlling one's senses, how we can attain Kṛṣṇa? How we can become peaceful? Without becoming peaceful, no one can become happy. So ananya-cetāḥ. Ananya-cetāḥ means without deviation of the mind. The mind has to be completely focused unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, unto the instructions coming from the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master. There's no difference between the instructions coming from the Supreme Lord and his pure devotee. Whatever the pure devotee says, that comes from the Supreme Lord. Because he's the via media. He is the transparent medium whereby we can attain love of God. So I was asked that without having a clear picture, that means without understanding the spiritual master, then we cannot understand Kṛṣṇa. It's not possible. Isn't it? The Mayavadis, they jump. They think that when they attain liberation, then they push the Guru aside. That's not possible. Guru will always be there. Even in the spiritual world, we'll be serving our Guru, and the Guru is the one that connects us to Kṛṣṇa. We cannot go direct to Kṛṣṇa. So how we control the mind? Very easy. Always think of Kṛṣṇa and never forget Him. Prabhupada says, it is not possible to control the mind, but it is only possible if we think of Kṛṣṇa. And in Kali-yuga, thinking of Kṛṣṇa means chanting the holy name of the Lord. So ananya-cetāḥ means without mixture of jñāna, karma, and haṭha-yogas. No. We do yoga. When we say yoga, means expression of our senses, utilizing our senses in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our yoga. Others, they will spend hours and hours meditating on the tip of their nose. Or, as Prabhupada would he would make a mockery of them. They're doing yoga, but actually they're sleeping and they're snoring. So no, our activities of yoga is that we're fully active, right from the early morning, waking up before 4 o'clock till we sleep 9 o'clock. We're always engaged. And this is how we can control our mind. If we engage our senses in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should not have any other desire but Kṛṣṇa. One-pointed attention. Just like Prabhupada, in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, there was a story of an arrow maker. An arrow maker is very, very focused, is very attentive in making sure that he will make the perfect arrow. And the king passed by along with his entourage. And he didn't even notice the king passed by. Because he's so focused in sharpening the arrow. So we should be like that also, in spite of so many distractions, so many obstacles, so many shortcomings, problems that will come to our lives from the past. We should not hanging into those things, or even right now. We should be always mindful our goal, and many more. The more one advances in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the more tests will be there by Maya to distract us or deviate us from becoming a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. So we should try our very best to pass all of those tests. So that's why we always pray to Lord Nrsimhadev, pray to the spiritual master, pray to the disciplic section, pray to Lord Kṛṣṇa, that we may not be deviated, that we'll be able to cross over all of those hurdles. And then when we prove ourselves that we are focused, our mind is always with Kṛṣṇa, then Maya Devi will give up on us. So pure bhakti-yoga, ananya-cetāḥ, is the word, without deviation of the mind. And according to what we've read here, yes, the karmi, their desires to be fulfilled is meant for their own sense enjoyment, sense gratification. Jnani, their desires to be relieved from material misery. The yogis, their desires is to obtain mystic powers, mystic abilities. Yes. But the pure devotee, their desires is only Kṛṣṇa. They're ready to even go to hell from Caitanya-caritāmṛta. They're ready to go to hell just as long as they are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, satatam, always. Satatam means always, regularly, every day. That's why it is advisable that we follow strictly, especially the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And in the beginning, yes, it's very difficult, but then it becomes part of our daily life, daily activities. It becomes normalized. So it says here, refers to pure devotees constantly remembering Kṛṣṇa and meditating on Him. So everything that we do day in and day out is only for this goal, to always remember Kṛṣṇa and never forget Him. There is no other way. There is no other conclusion. Everything that we do, cooking for Kṛṣṇa, cleaning for Kṛṣṇa, chanting Hare Krishna, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, distributing prasadam, making garlands, decorating the Lord, performing artik, preaching to the youths, everything. Even, you may say, if you're in, let's say you're in the accounts department, it's not just you're counting Lakshmi, or trying to make sure that everything is accounted for, but because everything belongs to Kṛṣṇa. That's why our account says Prabhupada's accounts. That's the name, Prabhupada's accounts. So everything that we do, we should be mindful that this is for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And ultimately, it says here, that pure devotee is always thinking of Kṛṣṇa without deviation, without considering the time or place. And therefore, some say that devotees should remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. That's true. But for a pure devotee, he carries Vrindavan with him. Prabhupada travels all over the world 2-3 times in 14 years. And wherever he goes, that is Vrindavan. Wherever a pure devotee goes, that is Vrindavan. That is the mood of the pure devotee. He carries the land of Vrindavan. He carries Vrindavan within his heart. And whoever he meets also will have a glimpse of what it feels like to be in Vrindavan. Being in Vrindavan means always thinking of Kṛṣṇa. So ultimately, Vrindavan is within our heart. And whomever he meets makes him feel like he is also in Vrindavan. That is the potency of the pure devotee. And remember what we read, this is the most amazing thing. Our goal is to always think of Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa is always thinking of his pure devotee as well. Do you think Kṛṣṇa is thinking of something else? No. He's only thinking of, how is my devotee? If he's in danger, I should be there immediately. I should be there to protect him. This is the reciprocation between the devotee and the Supreme Lord. It's like the parents, they're always thinking of their children. They may be far, far away. They may be in college or university, or let's say they already have their own family with grandchildren. They're still thinking of their children, but more of the grandkids. It says that the grandchildren, they're dear more to the grandparent than the grandparent or their parents compared to their own children. So this is Kṛṣṇa's reciprocation. And the pure devotee creates Vrindavan wherever he goes. It's like when Prabhupada was in New York, he would always say, now I'm feeling separation from my Vrindavan. That feeling of separation means you are connected. Separation, when we have that feelings, when we have that emotions of separation, we mentioned that the other day, when we feel separation from Vrindavan or Kṛṣṇa or the spiritual master, that means we're connected. The more we think of Kṛṣṇa or Vrindavan or a spiritual master, then there is no separation. You're only thinking that you're separated. It's like sometimes Kṛṣṇa and Radharani, they'll be face to face with each other, but because of their intense love from each other, sometimes they will think that they're not there. They're very far. But they're right there. So close with each other. So that is the mood of the pure devotee. He carries and create Vrindavan wherever he goes. And Lord, see Advaita Acharya, he knows the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, they tricked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It kind of like diverted his way. He ended up at Advaita Acharya's ashram. And he says, yeah, wherever you are, oh Lord, there is Vrindavan. So the Lord is like that, and at the same time, the devotee of the Supreme Lord also is like that. He carries Kṛṣṇa within his heart. And within the heart of Lord Kṛṣṇa, he carries the devotee. The devotee is within the heart of the Supreme Lord. And the same thing with the spiritual master. He may have thousands and thousands of disciples. Yet, at the same time, he always remembers his disciples. The disciple may forget the spiritual master, but the spiritual master will never forget his disciples. He may forget the name. Sometimes when we travel with our Guru Maharaj, because, how can you remember thousands of names? That is my also little bit of shortcomings. I can't remember names so much, but I can remember the face. Once I see the face, never forget, even after many, many years. So the spiritual master, our Guru Maharaj, will ask me, what is his name again? Is he my disciple? He's just asking like that, but actually, he knows. He knows. And then when the disciple started to speak to the spiritual master, he says, yeah, you work there? Yeah, you have 2 or 3 children? He said, yes. So it looks like he forgets, right? But no, it is not. Because within his heart, there is a place for all of us in the heart of Lord Kṛṣṇa. But the problem is, we have forgotten Kṛṣṇa. We have forgotten him. But Kṛṣṇa never forgets us. That's why he's always there as Paramatma. And he says that the spiritual master is the external feature of the Paramatma as well, representing the Paramatma. So, wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan. And then in the Purport, we've heard 5 ways of bhakti-yoga, different mellows, 5 major mellows: Santaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. All of us is in that category, one of those categories. So the great blessings of Krishna conscious process of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is that a pure devotee and the Lord never forget each other for a moment, because there's no difference between the holy name and Lord Kṛṣṇa. They're identical. So that is the potency of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. As soon as we chant the holy name of the Lord, that brings us into the transcendental platform. And a pure devotee, when he chants, he sees Kṛṣṇa. This is Kṛṣṇa. For us, no. We're still trying to fight with our mind to think of Kṛṣṇa. But ultimately, that day will come that when we chant the holy name, we will see Kṛṣṇa, we'll be able to remember his pastimes, his qualities, his transcendental form, his fame, and that transfer us into the spiritual world. As Prabhupada says, when the pure devotee chants, and Kṛṣṇa is dancing on his tongue, because there is no difference. He understood. He has that full realization. When Prabhupada chants, he sees Kṛṣṇa. When our spiritual master chants, he sees Kṛṣṇa. He doesn't have to fight with the mind to chant the holy name of the Lord. For us, we have to force ourselves. So, that is the conclusion. Ananya-cetāḥ satatam, without deviation of the mind, always try to remember Kṛṣṇa. And in this way, we will achieve the supreme goal, which is Kṛṣṇa Prema. Hare Krishna. Any question? Any points? Time went so fast. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks for a wonderful class. It seems to be very tedious to remember 24 hours. It seems to be very tedious to remember Kṛṣṇa all the 24 hours, I have to say.
24 hours is not enough to think of Kṛṣṇa.
Always remembering Kṛṣṇa also, like we do some material activities, we talk with the families. There are some all.
It seems to be like mundane.
Yeah.
It is not. It is not. See, if the goal, we have to look on the end result. The end result may not right now. Let's say, you talk about, hey, you're going to college, okay, how much you need? Spending money, how much allowance do you think you need? Oh, it has nothing to do with Kṛṣṇa. But your goal is to make your child Kṛṣṇa conscious, to follow your instructions, ultimately. And if he is very abiding, a good son or a good child, then ultimately also follow. Okay, can you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day? Yes, Pita, I will do it. So ultimately, your goal is to motivate him, because your desire is for him to be Kṛṣṇa conscious. It may not happen immediately, but that is your desire. So that is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. That is bhakti. It may look like mundane, but it is not mundane. It's like giving a child a medicine. You give him some toffee first, then he'll take the medicine. You give him some sweets first, right? To encourage him. So ultimately, he needs to take the medicine. That is your goal, to be Kṛṣṇa conscious. Yeah, that's true. It may look like mundane, going to work every day. Oh no, 9-to-5 job. It has nothing to do with Kṛṣṇa. But when at work, you should remember, how you dress your Thakurji this morning. What is it that you're going to prepare when you get home? What are the items that you will buy in Loy Bazaar to decorate them? The sabjis that you are going to prepare, or remembering Lord Krishna's instructions from Bhagavad Gita while working. So it may look like mundane. You're doing the same thing as others are doing, but you're thinking of Kṛṣṇa. So that is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. That is bhakti. Actually, you're doing bhakti. So bhakti means it is more internal than external. But external also shows. because how you deal with others, even though they're non-devotees, because you're Krishna conscious. You're being careful. You're setting a good example for them. You're always blissful. And the rest of your co-workers are always like morose. They don't, what am I doing here? I don't want this job. But for you, you accept because that's how Krishna has given you. Okay? That is Krishna consciousness. That is bhakti. You're doing bhakti actually. You may not see like, oh, the pujari is doing, or the brahmachari in the temple. No. Most of our members are grihastas. I would say 99% are grihastas. But there are many Krishna conscious grihastas. Yeah. Grihastha ashram, one must be very, very careful, extra careful. Because they may say, they may give an excuse that this is for Krishna, but it goes beyond the limit of the restriction. Because grihasthas, they have this license for sense enjoyment. And if they go beyond, then they become sense enjoyers. No more grihasthas. They become grihamedi.
Normally we see Maharaj at home, like mother or wife, she asks children, what do you want to have for breakfast?
What do you want to have for breakfast?
What
Yeah,
for lunch?
sure.
Accordingly the food is prepared.
Sure, no problem.
And it's not like something Krishna wants, we don't think of Krishna. Always.
No. Well, children, they have exemption. But not that, my dear wife, what do you want for breakfast? Or, my dear husband, what do you want for breakfast? Oh, yes, I want this, I want that. And that is for some time, but we have certain menu also. Okay, these are menu for the whole week. Don't ask any more from this. Different than this. So, yeah. Extra careful, the grihasthas. Any more points? Yes, sir?
Maharaj, second paragraph, sixth line.
Huh?
Second paragraph.
Second paragraph.
Purport,
Purport.
sixth
Read it.
line.
Wow, I have to...
Yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. My opinion is, my experience is, it is not very simple and it's not very easy.
What?
Maybe-
Bhakti-yoga?
Yeah,
It is easy
it is very,
because that is our nature.
very difficult.
It is difficult, yes, because of our having come in contact with the material energy, but compared to the other processes, which will never become successful. That's why we mentioned that in the class yesterday, material life is difficult and it is impossible. But spiritual life is difficult also, but it is possible to be happy. Ultimate happiness, this is our goal. To enjoy. But we cannot enjoy apart from Kṛṣṇa. But because we are parts and parcels of Kṛṣṇa, then our being connected with Kṛṣṇa, that is the easiest part. To be happy. To be separated from Kṛṣṇa and performing these different processes of yogas like karma-yoga, jñāna-yoga, haṭha-yoga. You will try and try for many lifetimes. You will not reach the goal. To be happy. Aren't you happy coming for Mangalartik? Yes? That's true. If you miss Mangalartik, you feel very guilty. Oh no. If there is no guilt, missing the morning program, you will not attain love of God. If you miss the Srimad Bhagavatam class, And you say, oh, I want to sleep now. I'm so tired. I woke up at 2:30, at 3 o'clock. Now I'm going to sleep now. You will not attain love of God. So simple. It becomes part of your life. The more you do it, then it becomes natural. It's normal now that you don't want to miss anything. No cutting corners. No shortcut in this process. It is a gradual elevation to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. We have to follow this. But once we reach that anartha nivriti, the cleansing of the heart, then actually bhakti starts after liberation. Now we're just touching the surface. We're not inside yet. But once you are inside, then bliss will start. But there is bliss, especially when we get Mahaprasad. We're so eager for Mahaprasad, but we're not ready to do anything. So how are we going to make progress in this way? Okay? We have to pay the price. Austerity must be there. Tapasya. And chanting the holy name of the Lord is the greatest tapasya. Because once you start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra purely, then there's no end. You just keep chanting. Even without the beads. It just mind is just reeling. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Whatever you do, anything is still continuously chanting. Yes? Okay, we stop here. Thank you very much. Shukriya. Spasibo. Srila Prabhupada K. Always thinking of Krishna K. And never forget him K. As I go, Sitanath Premanande.